There was a technique was taught to us by that guy how to get rid of our passports.
What?
So that's I'm not lying to you. They come up to me and they say, "You are the guy who does Thank God It's Thursday, right?" Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Thank God It's Thursday 2024. I was like, yeah. And then I flushed the fucking toilet. That is the story for you.
No way. On another side note, I talked to the love of my life, Elle.
One of the most fucked up experience that I felt since.
If I see you driving around in like a G-Wagon or something, I'd be like, mate, what's going on? How's the podcast game? Yeah, most people don't go through that. So that is a huge part of the story.
I know it was a joke between me and the boys. They always used to call me, "Oh, you came from the back of a lorry."
You guys want it?
I love you, brother, and I will speak to you soon.
I love you, brother. Welcome to the studio. Let's go.
It is. It looks crazy. I wish I could. Oh, you've seen it anyway. It looks fucking sick. Like, obviously, I've got lights. I've got the chairs going on, and then I found out today that my friend Sam can get me something called planet wall or like a wallpaper that can go on this wall. That just this wall, and I'm gonna get this kind of a not so dark, but kind of grey, like a wallpaper, which is like a bricks, looks like a bricks. I'm gonna put it up here, and I'm gonna put the backstory neon lights on there, and it's just gonna be it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be sick.
Wait, so you have neon lights now?
Yeah, so I've ordered the neon lights. It's gonna say backstory.
Okay, that's coming.
And then the wallpaper, it's going to be like a fake wallpaper, but it's going to look like grey bricks, fake wallpaper.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be one wall. And I've put the cameras that's just going to focus on these two chairs. And it's going to be the way back there. I'm just hoping that one day sit here with you and just fucking properly record it, because it looks the setup is sick. The setup is sick.
Do it. Mate, are we recording right now?
Yeah, it's recorded.
Oh, we're proper live. Oh shit. Okay. Well, let's just see what. Let's see where this goes. See
what's happening. What's happening?
Most people, just quickly, I would say most people would do like one small thing at a time, right? Do you know what I mean? But you are not most people. That is for sure.
No,
so some people might. This guy's got a whole setup.
The thing is, I don't know. I manifest every day that this is not from my perspective. I want to become famous or become an influencer, whatever. But I just know this platform is gonna go somewhere, and somehow it's gonna blow up somewhere, and it's just gonna be phenomenal because. I don't know, someone's going to come on this podcast and he's going to share a story and it's just going to go boom. I just got this feeling. I don't know how to explain. But also, you know me, you lived with me. I am not just the one tiny person guy. I don't do tiny things. I'm I either go 100% in or I'm not going at all in. So I set the whole thing up. If it goes well, if it goes well. If it fails, it fails. So
absolutely. You might as well go all in and fail, right? Like the worst thing is it doesn't work, but you tried.
Yes.
You just gave it a crack, which is better than 99% of people who have this idea but don't try. So would you rather just live life not knowing?
And it's been a very good learning curve as well. From we've done now five episodes. We've launched 5 episodes. We've done one with Josh, which is going on this week, and then we've done one with Cam, and then one with another person. So we've done another 2 or 3 already, right? Are
you meant to be giving this away right now? I don't care, mate. This is exclusive.
People can know who's coming in, who's not coming. I don't care.
Well, hey, but keep it a secret. If you're listening right now, like a Stephen Bartlett, keep this a secret because you were the one that listened to this that gave you the answers to the test, and here they are. So. Otherwise, I mean, some people love surprises, so just live life in a surprise.
Well, it's been a good learning curve for me as well because, a couple of people that we've spoken to, the couple of people that come on, they've shared some stories that I didn't know about them, and they are my friends. But I just love the part that it just opens a different avenue to people coming in and just saying things you're just what? Seriously? You're like, yeah,
Okay, so here's one for you. I talked to my mum, obviously, telling her, hey, mum, guess what? Seb's doing a podcast.
Yeah.
And my mum was like, great, fantastic for Seb. That's fantastic. And then I was like, and I'm on the podcast, let's do this. Like, and I would really, really like it if you could give it a listen. And I didn't realize that the first podcast, I actually mentioned them quite a lot, right?
You
Like
did?
they had a little story. They had little stories. And a couple of things came from it. So my mum obviously, knows most things. She didn't ask about Ibiza, and I'm kind of glad,
Yeah.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
But she did say, she was like, that's not how that happened. I did not chase him at the RAF camp. And then she told her friend the story, and her friend goes, no, I'm pretty sure your son had it right. It sounds like you kind of like stalked him and like
Yeah.
made him go on a date with you.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
That's
And
hilarious.
then
You did mention them a couple of times though, because you said like I think when we started, you started from like saying where your mom and dad met and everything else. So yeah. So that after did she give it a listen properly? Yeah.
she proper gave it a listen. And a couple of things, man, all these things are coming to my brain right now. I don't, you know what's funny? Like looking back on it, and probably, I don't know if you feel this, but like, I don't remember what I said that much. I remember like some really key points of the podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I mentioned this and I mentioned this and all these other things came up. But anyway, she told me she listened to it. My dad was watching something on the TV. So they got kicked out or whatever happened. And then, so my mum and sister watched it on the TV. They did. And my sister's not like, I wouldn't imagine her wanting to listen to it because she'd be like, oh, it's a bit boring. But she proper sat down and listened to it, my mum. And then the cool part about it was, I guess, and this is probably the same for you, if your family members watch it, or people that have been around you and they hear a story and they're in the story.
Yeah.
Then they're like, oh, I didn't know that part of the story that they were in. Do you know what I mean? They didn't know how you saw it, how they saw it, how it looked different to them. But my sister was said, is that what Cyprus was like?
Wow.
And I said, and mum goes, yeah, it actually was. And she's like, I was too young to remember, but I know I see these photos and now like my brother replaying it just adds an extra layer to the story.
Yeah.
Do you know? And same with my mum. My mum can explain it from her angle, and I'm explaining it from here, and then there's two stories come together and create like they almost create a new memory for my sister, if that makes sense. Which I think is a really cool byproduct of
It's
the
so
podcast,
crazy.
I guess, and listening to people's stories. So
it's so crazy you say that because my best friend Rob, he knows me well, and I'll tell him about this story. And he literally messaged me. And first of all, he was just like, I've shared the notes with you. He just said how proud he is and everything. But he also messaged me and he goes, I didn't actually know where the name Sebastian came from. Is that really how it started? I was like, yeah. He goes, fuck, that's so insane. Like, to be honest, brother, like, I think, well, like me and Shane spoke about it, because we wanted to put it out there so much. Like, and like, you always tell me this, like, there's never, Gary Vee says the same thing. There's never a good time to post something, right?
me, Gary Vee.
Yeah, Gary
and
Vee,
Gary Vee.
Adam.
The exact same
There
level.
is never a good time to post it. So me and Shane was like, oh, let's just do it and post it. And honestly, the feedback I've got from people was like they listened to my story, but they believe that like 30 minutes or 40 minutes was a little bit short for my story, which I get that because we wanted it focused on 30 to 40 minutes. But I personally think people are asking me, people are like, I think you could dive in more. And I swear, I think I can dive in so much of my stories. Like one of the stories I never mentioned, well, and it kept coming back to me, and I'm sure you listened to it. You know the part that I said me and my dad flew on our own, and then my mom and sisters flew after the next day. Never mentioned when me and my dad flew on our own. I never mentioned we had to get rid of our passports, and there was a technique was taught to us by that guy how to get rid of our passports.
What?
So that's this is the first time I'm fucking sharing this. Like,
let's go.
There is so when we were leaving from Germany and we were to go to UK, obviously we had to go to UK without any evidence or documents in our hand. Because if we had any evidence and document, they were like, okay, you're coming from Germany, go back the fuck to Germany, right? Yeah. So he taught us how to get rid of our passports on the plane. So you know when you get on the plane and then there is like 20 minutes left and you get an announcement from the pilot says, hey, we are just about to land. like blah blah blah. If you need to go to the toilet or fucking do anything, get it done, or otherwise put your seatbelt
And
on.
then sit down.
So he told us that happens. You go first, I go first. So we had to go, and fucking, I don't know if this is gonna get me in trouble, whatever. I had to grow a small, my pinky, a nail up, so a little bit large, bigger. You go to a toilet and you pick the corner of the passport picture of the plastic of it, but with that finger, and I'll open it up and I'll rip that up so the whole passport comes up, right? The plastic. When that comes up, then I'll rip the middle of the passport because there is no plastic left anymore, and then I'll chop it in pieces and then I'll flush the fucking toilet. That is the story for you.
No way.
Hands on heart. I've never told this to
Holy
anyone.
shit.
Yeah. So Rob knows about this because I told him about this. But yeah, I had to grow a little nail so I can get that plastic up. So when that plastic comes up,
because you obviously couldn't take a knife on the plane, so that's what we had to do.
oh, you know what I'm saying? You can't do shit like that. So
see, that's the shit you want to hear about, right? Like, absolutely. Hold on. But when you got into the country, did they not say, like, it's probably a naive question, but hey, Mohsen, can we have your passport, please?
No, they did. So that's what that happens. So
and you were like,
you know that reaction you just done? That's exactly what we had to do. He just said, do that.
But hold on. And you also didn't speak English.
No. So
you were like,
you go to the line. You go to the line, and there's an officer behind the window, sat there, and he just said, "Passport, please." And you're like, and he goes,
"Did you just?"
And he goes, "Passport, please." Next, and he told me, and my father, and my sister, and my mom, all of it. He said he's gonna ask you 3 times, and he fucking did. He was a passport, please, and I was like, and then third time, I was just like, no passport, and that's all I knew, no passport, and then. Because they know what the fuck is going on, and they know people coming for asylum, and then they were like, and he called someone, which was an officer, and then they took me, and then obviously my dad was behind me, and then my dad came next, yeah.
And then did you, for the next 3 hours, just keep saying no passport?
Yeah, but that's what we didn't know anything, and that's what if you listen to that one, I said we were at the airport for at least when my mom and my sisters came, we were stuck at the airport in this little office or a room for 48 to 72 hours, like till the interpreter comes in, till they tell us what we got to be doing and all that shit. So yeah,
and I'd say
that's
genius.
It's fucking.
It's genius. Like,
it is genius. It is. That's why he got paid so good.
I wonder what they do nowadays. Like, do people still do the exact same thing, or would they just turn you around?
Well, so people come to Australia as an immigrant, right? And a couple of people that I know from Iran who came over. But people who came as an immigrant, they don't come the posh way. We call ourselves the posh way. The white people sometimes comes. They come from a different country. They go to a different country and then they smuggle through another country to come to Australia or even UK. They go to another country and then they smuggle from there. I know it was a joke between me and the boys. They always used to call me, "Oh, you came from the back of a lorry." And I was like, "Nah, boys, I fucking came posh way." My dad paid fucking good money for it. But yeah, people do that. People, as I said in a podcast in the second episode, we spend time with foreigners who did come on a boat, who did arrive to UK on the back of a lorry, and they were hidden on the back of the product. One of the couple we met, he did say him and his wife were hidden in the back of a lorry, in back of these fridge and products and everything that was getting through the border with the lorry. So yeah,
that's insane.
I
think from my point of view, and probably from a lot of people's point of view. Well, I don't want to speak for everyone, but you have this vision. Like, I have a vision of what immigration looks like. If you're from a country that you're a war-torn country or something like that, there's a reason why you're leaving.
Yeah.
And you're coming to supposedly like nicer place where they're going to start a new life, that it is always some dodgy way, or they're trying to like you said, hide and trying to get in. But there's so many people that probably do it the other way. And there's people like you. I guess it blows my mind that you were quite obviously doing probably quite well in Iran. Life was pretty good. You know what I mean? But it was still worth the sacrifice of all that to give it a shot, just for the shot, just for the chance. Like that's it. That's all. That's all you guys wanted.
The scary part is, if the shot didn't work out, fuck me, you wouldn't want to know. You would get sent back to Iran. Then I don't think I would have been sat here. I would be somewhere. I would be in heaven.
You'd still be in the Iranian army or something right now. You'd be like a sergeant. You'd be officer,
So
Kachuri.
crazy, so crazy. But then, hey, listen, I can't force it though. You know, on my podcast, obviously, my episode. Listen, I'm getting so many good feedbacks from the second episode of us, like me, you, and Shane. I think the second episode with you was just like, so the reason I wanted to have this conversation with you, because obviously it's been 5 episodes, and you know, as I said to you, I'm learning. Like the first episode was 30 minutes with Shane. It was good introduction. Second episode, we start opening up, and Shane got me a little bit, in terms of emotion and empathy. Third episode, then it was a final chapter which we spoke about it, and then fourth and fifth was yours, right? Which fourth was good, you know what I mean, us three talking and everything. But I don't know.
It wasn't it, man.
Yeah,
it wasn't
I think there was some sort of a what's the word? Your English is better than mine. Some sort of I don't know. We were nervous, if that makes sense. I don't know how to say.
Yeah,
I don't know But then
it's a different dynamic. Even though you're really good friends and you've chatted many times, it's still like a slightly different dynamic of like sitting face to face. Well, over Zoom or whatever, but you're sitting face to face and you're just having like a really upfront conversation, which I don't think a lot of people do. And do you know what? Even to go deeper than that, I don't think a lot of guys do that. Where it's just like a sit down chat. It's either like you're watching sport or you're at the pub or you're doing, you know what I mean, or something along those lines. So this is kind of, I guess it's it's another level. It's just another level that's probably doesn't happen often.
The feedback on the second episode, the fifth episode with you, it's so good because people are like, yeah, you guys had so much fun. I was like, yeah, we were just literally having 3 friends, like
it was good,
just chatting shit. Like
it was some wholesome shit.
Yeah,
it was some really nice stuff. But I feel like as well, I felt more comfortable in the second episode. And you know what? We're probably going to look back in a year's time and be like, that was terrible. Like, as I'm sure everyone does. Otherwise, you're not getting any better. If you don't look back and you go, oh my God, what was that? So I don't want to watch that.
I just done one. I done one with a friend of mine, and I've done the one before that, which I was going to go on this week. And I've done 3 cameras angle. So I put 3 phones, and the editor, the video editor, he does it. He has to zoom in when I'm talking. He zooms in on me, and then when the guest is talking, zooms in on him or her. And then it's actually good when you have 3 cameras. So this is what I'm saying. When you said like you go 100 miles an hour when you want to do something, like right now, I'm actually negotiating a marketplace with a guy who's got 3 cameras. Like he wants to sell them, and I actually want to buy all 3 of them because I want to put the whole 3 camera angle and start the whole studio here.
Mate, is one angle not enough? Come on now, like this is it. And you might see an angle on 3 cameras that you don't want to see. It just doesn't look good.
Yeah, that's exactly.
But
and also, I always say to the guest I did this weekend, I said to her, I was just like, which side would you like to sit down? She was like, I don't care. I was like, yeah, but people got good angle, a good side, you know.
You will. You're gonna like text me in like 2 weeks and say, why would you let me sit like that? Why would you do that to me? Mate, as we said, you don't do anything. You don't do anything in half. That's why we do know.
I'm just enjoying this because it's a good hobby to have, and also like you've noticed very well as well when it comes to learning. Like you like at the moment you're doing some sort of a learning with your stuff, with your coaching and everything. But this one is also a learning for me as well. Like I'm watching a lot of YouTube videos about how to do like videos, how to do the editing. Even though I'm gonna admit it, with the video editing, I'm not doing it myself at the moment. Someone else is doing it. But also I want to learn for the future how I'm able to do that myself. So it's kind of a learning perspective as well. Like like you're watching things to be like, and there's so many things out there. I just like it blows my mind how much people are out there and doing YouTube videos on a daily basis.
There's a whole world out there, and as we said on the podcast, I'm pretty sure that did we say this? but you can just make money doing anything these days. If you have a voice and you have information or you have a skill of talking, like you can do whatever you want. You could run off any topic or you could go down any avenue.
Yeah.
There's so much more flexibility in work versus like back in the day it was probably you go to a trade or you go do this or you go be a teacher, I don't know. And now you can be a content creator about anything, or you could just film videos and make money and find a way to do it.
Yeah. And it's funny,
Insane.
Spotify actually reached out to me. It's weird, like you get an email. They're like,
Yeah.
if your episodes get to 60 listens per episodes, like above 60 or per above, you can start earning money. And I was like, I didn't want to earn money, but fucking hell, 60 people have to listen to this. But yeah, you can make money apparently.
If I see you driving around in like a G-Wagon or something, I'll be like, mate, what's going on? How's the podcast game? Pretty good, huh?
Oh man,
Oh.
it's such a like, and there was I was watching the YouTube there's a stat that basically they're talking about, but in I think it's 5 years or 10 years, I can't remember. 20 to 30% of the market is going to be the young generation, Gen Z. Is that what we call it? It's going to
That's
be
not me, mate.
yeah,
Don't talk about me. I ain't
yeah,
no Gen Z.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's Gen Z. I think there might be another one, but
Yeah, it's
that's
gonna
going too
it's gonna
far.
go crazy because everybody at the moment, like exactly what you said, social media, recording and everything. The skill is gonna be that, and lots of people are gonna take that. So it's.
I was thinking on another side note. I was talked to the love of my life, Elle, who reminds me that I should have talked about her more on the podcast, but
Oh
that's
yeah,
okay.
oh yeah.
I said there wasn't enough time to do all of that because it'd have to take up like 30 minutes. No, but
She is. I want that woman to be on my fucking podcast one day, and I want her to share her story because
hey, good luck.
yeah, she's yeah.
She
I
said,
will
hold
get
on, hold
her.
on. She said, give it a few years. She said she needs to correct a few more stories. She got a little. She needs a little more time. She's younger. She needs more time.
Nah,
So
she's
we'll have to keep doing that.
yeah.
But she said her feedback was she enjoyed it. Obviously, she didn't. She got sick of listening to me talk after 2 hours, but that's fine. It still had like similar to what you were saying about your podcast. It still had more to give. There was more to give, and I think there's more questions to ask. And as you get more experience doing this, I think you'll feel more comfortable and confident in being like, okay, let's ask that deep question. Like we're gonna go there. We're not gonna be like, oh, maybe we're gonna lead it that way. Like it's time to get a little bit deeper. And
Yeah,
I think we scratch and same with your podcast, scratch the surface of I guess the timeline of your life. Like it gave you like a snapshot of like from here to here to here to here.
yeah,
But then, like you just talked about, okay, but what actually happened when you got there? What happened? You had to rip your passport up. You were shitting yourself just knowing that all you had to say was no passport and hope that it was going to be okay.
yeah,
How did that feel? Like, how did
yeah,
that experience is not traumatic, but it's something that affects you that
yeah. And
made you who you are today.
the more I'm listening to it, because I know it sounds crazy, but I listen to my podcast and my episodes, your episode, and everything, and every other episodes that I do, because I want to pick things that can get better for the next one and the one after.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I've noticed, exactly what you said, 1 hour is not enough to go into someone's life or stories or whatever, right? So I think the more I'm doing this and the more I'm learning about it, the future ones is going to be like topic of the conversation. Like it's going to be, for example, like, okay, I'm just saying, for example, myself, tell us a story about your journey just from this moment to this moment, because if you expand it, exactly what you said, you're not going to go deep, you're just going to touch the surface. But for example, yours, if we went into conversation of just Adelaide, and when you left the school, when you left, you met Reno, how was it, what did you do, that will be an amazing 1 hour story of just going deep. What was it? So,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
yeah,
I think sometimes, well, because the limited time, you only get to you're asking about what happened rather than why that happened or how that happened.
yeah,
Those other questions similar to, I kept thinking about, for example, my own thoughts behind, we talked a little bit about having someone in your life that influenced you and how that affected you, how does that, my thoughts were then, okay, how does that translate to now? Like, is that why you do what you do? Is that is that your passion? Is this, those sorts of questions? For the same, from my point of view, looking at your story, you told me you got split up from your mum.
Yeah.
Right? It was just you and your dad.
Yeah.
Got sent away. That's traumatic.
Yeah.
In my mind, you probably were like, I don't know how you felt. How did you feel being, I guess, technically pulled away
It
from your
was
mum, just knowing like, I hope this works out and I hope I'll go back and see my mum again.
Yeah, it was for a 17-year-old. It was scary because even though I'm 17, like I said, I I'm a mommy's boy, right? You know, my mama is my world. Knowing that, and I said on the second episode, I got a little bit um got a little emotional about it. Was that not knowing that I might not see my mom because she's gonna come next day, and God forbid something. That is like for me, it's a scary part. You know, that was
Mm.
always
Mm.
and the questioning and the immigration and everything. It has left a scar. Of course, it's left a scar for me. Age of
Mm.
17, being I don't want to use the word. I can use the word being humiliated, like going and staying in 72 hours in an airport, in a room that you don't know what's going to happen, and your mom and dads are keep getting taken away from you because they have to go and get questioned. Every time I go through the immigration in every country, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, this is going to happen again. Like that
Mm.
2.5 hours that I got
Yeah.
questions in US was one of the most fucked up experience that I felt since me emigrating to UK,
Yeah.
because it brought memories of when they were asking questions. I was like, oh, shit, there we go. Because that's what they did. They went through my mom's bags, our bags, my dad's, and because they found out we are together, then they put us
Mm.
together. But it was exactly the same scenario when I was in America. They're looking at your phone, your wallet, your bank account, all that shit. 100% has left a massive scar because it's
Yeah.
kind of like every time I'm traveling now, and the determination of getting a British passport and the determination of getting an Australian passport for me was like, I'm going to get these two because then I can walk to any immigration. I'm like, I've got this
Mm.
fucking passport. You can't say shit to me now. But you still getting questions. It brings back a trauma of what happened when you walked into Heathrow Airport.
Yeah. But for those who don't know you, you were so excited, and I mean, now it makes a lot more sense, right? How much you celebrated getting two passports.
Oh,
And I just thought, because in my mind, I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, you should celebrate, but let's not go overboard here. Like, it's just a passport. Like, but to you,
yeah,
it wasn't just a passport. So I
no,
think that's all I was thinking in my head is, this is the back part behind the story.
yes,
Like, this is the backstory. And I think
yeah,
that's something to think about.
yeah,
Okay, there's the story, and what the podcast is called is backstory.
yeah,
And right now, there's the story of, oh, I went through immigration, this happened. But there's the backstory of how that's now created
yeah,
that feeling, and that now you question yourself every time you go through customs, that kind of stuff, how you felt. Like, the humiliated is such a strong word when
yeah,
you think about that stuff,
mm,
right? That doesn't, yeah, most people don't go through that. So that is
yeah,
a huge part of the story.
yeah.
So I think for me, that's the deeper layer. That's the back of
And
the backstory.
that's exactly what you said. That is, the more we doing this, and the more I'm going to be able to get in front of people, the more I'm learning to open up that layers of questions. And I know for a fact one day I'll be sitting here with you, Shane, and you guys will go deeper in the layers of the things I've said about my journey, and it will open up so many stories, and it will be like, fuck, now we know why you are so fucking 100 miles an hour because of this. Now we know why you are who you are, or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. And going back to what you said about someone who has an influence, I since that podcast, I've actually reached out to him. His name is Ray. He's
Big Ray.
yeah,
Big Ray.
Big Ray.
I imagine
I
he's
think
massive for some
I think
reason.
he's the reason why I'm one of the reason to be consistent on things, because he was a fucking consistent coach. He wanted everything done correctly. You had to turn up like 9 o'clock for training, be ready to go on academy. Like if you were late, you had to pay a fine. If you were late at the game, you had to pay a fine. So the discipline part and consistent part, I think I've learned from him, because the other day, someone messaged me on LinkedIn. I've been doing LinkedIn posts for work for 4.5 years now, since I started. And this was before COVID. If you remember, we lived together, I had to do them, right? And to this,
thank God it's Thursday.
Thank God it's Thursday. And to this day, it's still going on. And people message me and said, fuck, you still doing that?
I've been following since day one, episode 1.
And when I go to the shows, I go to one of the biggest shows in the US. It's called NACS. People come up to me and they say,
Nah,
brother,
way.
I am not lying to you. They come up to me and they say, you are the guy who does Thank God It's Thursday, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, we watch your videos. Like, and then as a joke, I always say to them, why don't you fucking like it then?
Please, right now in this video, you need to add like a snippet of like episode 1 of Thank God It's Thursday in COVID times, of you just nervously being like, oh, thank God it's Thursday.
Brother, if I looked honestly, this is exactly why I know this podcast is gonna go in that journey, because I've looked back my first episode of.
So, yeah, I'm coming. That's almost a wrap.
Yes, I'm nearly.
But in 4 years' time, someone's gonna come up to you and be like, "Oh my God, you're still doing it," and you're gonna be like, "Didn't you like the episode 3? Come on now, what have you been doing?"
I know, but honestly, I've looked back at episode 1 and I look back at what I did today. My fucking days, I've done. It's crazy how much has changed. But thank you. Mate, like I said, I just wanted to have a quick chat with you. 30 minutes is perfect. Like just a quick recap of five episodes with. I don't even know if that was a recap. That was just chat. I don't know what just happened in the last 30 minutes, but there we go. We just chatted. It's fine. We just chopped it up. No, that's good. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Have a great dinner. I love you, brother, and I will speak to you soon. I love you, brother. Talk soon. See ya.